Chapter 6 Weathering the Storm in Ersama by Harsh Mender. He is an Indian author, columnist, researcher, teacher, and a social activist who works with survivors of mass destruction, homeless people, and poor children. Let us see what he talks about here in this chapter. Let us understand the meaning of the word weathering first. It means to come out safely through a difficult problem or experience. Now, here we have this. The cyclone that hit Orissa in October 1999 killed thousands of people and devastated hundreds of villages. Cyclone students, we know it is a violent rotating windstorm, and devastated, destroyed for 2 dreadful nights. Dreadful, scary, fearful. Prashant. So here we have the protagonist, Prashant, a young man, was marooned. He was deserted. He was left alone on the roof of a house. Though we'll get to know that his friend's family was also there with him. On the 3rd day, he decided to go to his village. Did he find his family? Let's read and find it out. On 27 October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, so Prashant is a motherless child. Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in coastal Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village. Why? To spend the day with a friend. In the evening, a dark and menacing, threatening, troublesome storm quickly gathered. Winds beat against the houses with a speed and fury. Fury is violent anger that Prashant had never witnessed before. Prashant had never seen such a sight earlier. Heavy and incessant, unstoppable, continuous rain filled the darkness. So there was rainfall, heavy rainfall. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth, fell to the earth. Screams, painful cries, rent filled the air. Why? As people and houses were swiftly washed away, quickly washed away. The angry waters, water coming at a fast pace, swirled into his friend's house. Swirled is spiral pattern. The building was of brick and mortar. Mortar is a mixture of cement, sand, water, and lime, which is used for binding bricks and stones, and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 km per hour. Despite heavy winds, despite strong winds, the house stood tall. But the cold terror of the family, fear of the family grew. It increased with the crashing of trees that had got uprooted and fallen on their house. So some trees fell on their house sometime in the middle of the night. That must be quite scary, damaging, fracturing the house, its roof and walls. The crazed destruction, crazed, insane, something that drives you mad, that drives you crazy. Destruction wrought, caused, created by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean, rolling swell of water, continued for the next 36 hours, although wind speeds had reduced somewhat by the next morning. To escape the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friend's family had taken refuge, shelter on the roof. Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the super cyclone. The destruction caused by the super cyclone left an unforgettable impression on Prashant's mind. A raging, intensively angry, deadly, life-threatening brown sheet of water, muddy sheet of water covered everything as far as the eye could see. He could only see water everywhere. Only fractured, cracked cement houses still stood intact in a few places. Blotted, puffed up animal carcasses, dead bodies, and human corpses, again dead bodies of human beings, floated in every direction. All round, even huge old trees had fallen. 2 coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house. There refers to the family of Prashant's friend. This This was a blessing in disguise in hidden form, because the tender coconuts, tender soft from the trees, kept the trapped family from starving in the several days that followed. Water had entered into their house, they couldn't move out, everything they could see just destruction, and during that tough time, it was their luck, their fortune that they could get tender coconuts to feed themselves on. Though the same trees scared them when they had fallen.
Thank you for your visit.